Ah, there you are. I've been looking for you. Have you been looking for me? Many of you know me as Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire. Well, I'm no longer that man. Now, I'm Preacher Moss, the Zakat collector. I'm here to bring Zakat back. And who better to do that with than the OGs of Zakat? Zakat Foundation of America. I'll be bringing together top scholars, community folks, economists, and celebrities to help demystify Zakat. Oh, and don't worry if you haven't paid your Zakat. I'll be coming by to pick it up personally. Me, Preacher Moss. This is Zakat collector.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. Peace be unto you, everyone. I am Sister Sutanah, and welcome to the Shout Out Show with Preacher Moss. I am not Preacher Moss. So I'd like to welcome everyone. Preacher Moss is, out doing on assignment for another event. So he'll be maybe popping in, to give the greetings to everyone. So, you have me for the next half an hour or so. But I do like to welcome everyone. And again, this is the Shout Out Show with Preacher Moss. If you all are just joining us, welcome. We have been, running this for you all. If you weren't with us last Friday, that was our 1 year anniversary that we went through. 365 daily shows at this time of the shout out show. So we're super excited about that, and so we are going to the next 365. God willing. So I am again, I am Sister Sutana. So at times I come in, and I'm guest host, but I do serve as the consulting producer. So I'm usually on the back end, running the show as preachers on the front end. So welcome to everyone who's new. Welcome to all our, as preacher says, our shout out show soldiers. Um, and so we'll get to our topic a little bit later on, but please like, share, and subscribe. We're on Facebook platform, the Twitter platform, and on YouTube. So go out and tell your friends and your families, and join us daily. So I am gonna go ahead and go through our our comments here and just say hello to everyone before we get into the show. Um, and so, Sister Ree, how are you? Hello to you, family, as well. Sister Ree is also is in Texas, and we always send prayers and healing blessings to her. But she is what Preacher calls her the show's dietitian. She is a neighbor of his, so she is actually also a cook, and so we've seen some of her works on camera, so we're excited about that. So welcome to you, Sistery, and to Brother Chase and your entire family, and blessings to you. And we have Danielle Thomas, who is one of Preacher's Gold's friends. He's known him for quite some time, right? And so he calls him his little brother. So Danielle Thomas, thank you for joining. And wa alaikum assalam. Johnny, although he's not Muslim, but he is, or JT, as Preach calls him, he is fasting as well. So we want to send, prayers and blessings to him. JT, drop in the comments. How's it going? We're like going into the last 10 days, so it's, as if some of you don't know, we're in the month of Ramadan. It's 30 days. And so we'll talk more a little about that in the show segment, but we're down to the last 10 days, and these are important days to us. All right. Thank you for joining, JT. Altaf Rashid. Hey, what's up? So Altaf is wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Altaf joins us from Toronto, Canada, like daily. Like, he's like totally like one of our longtime joiners. So thank you for joining, Altaf. Hope everything is well. Altaf, we're going to be talking about Ramadan, so I want to know what you do, while you're up there in Canada. So drop us some comments when we start to get into the conversation. Hey, thank you. Yeah, this yellow sunshiny, right? And wa alaikum salam, JT. Thank you for acknowledging me. Sister Ravina. Yeah, Sister Ravina is another one who comes across. She's across the pond over in the UK. So welcome, Sister Ravina. Sister Ravina always, I'm telling you, always has like, I don't know what she just pulls all this information out. And so I know she's going to be like super, helpful in this conversation as we talk about Ramadan. So we also want to know what happens in the UK. Like, what are you all doing in the UK? So that would be great. And, Reese, everything is wonderful today. So yeah. So let's go ahead and get into our topic of the day. And for those of you out there who are joining, I do see like there are people that are in, but we may not see the people, but we do see the numbers. But just get out there and just drop in the comments, say, hey, give the greetings, and let us know you're there. And we'll give you a shout out. And thank you, JT. JT said he's looking forward to the show. And the final teaser of Ramadan, I'm sure you are. So we would certainly like to hear it. So hopefully, later in the 10 days, maybe, Preacher will bring you online, and maybe you can talk about, your fasting, from a non-Muslim perspective. I think that would be great. All right, cool. So let's get into the topic of the day, which is Ramadan. So Ramadan. So we started talking about this, of course. Ramadan, so it's a month, right? It's an Islamic month, a month of Ramadan, right? It's when in the Islamic year right now, it's 1442, right? And so this is when this is like when the Islamic months have started, right? In 1442 years ago today, right? Hey, look who's on. It's Preacher Moss. He says, you're looking sunny, Sutanah. Thanks, Preach. Got the yellow. So yeah, looking really sunny here. Thanks. Hope you're having a great time at your event. I know you do have another event that you are on. So, peace and blessings for that event. And if you are able to jump in, say, hey, all right. Well, we're going to continue our conversation on Ramadan. So yeah, Ramadan. And so we, this is like I said, it was 1442 years ago. The Islamic calendar has started. And so this is that year, that 1442 year of Ramadan. And so this is when the Quran was first revealed, not the entire Quran, but when first revealed, and just like other scriptural texts, it's in chapters, and we call it surahs and ayats, and so it's broken down in that way. And so it was first revealed to Prophet Muhammad, may the prayer and peace be upon him. And so we acknowledge that every year, and then this is the time when we are do certain things, including fasting. Sorry, I gotta say this. You're not as good as Future Moss. You know what? I need to hear everybody's comments out there on this comment right here from Preacher. But that's okay. It's Preacher show, so I will I'll lean back on this one. But okay. So getting back to Ramadan. So we fast during this time, right? So we fast, but not only from food, right? There are just some things that, things that so we try to, the whole point of it, of course, is to, we call it taqwa, right? And so it's closest to Allah, right? And so it's like removing some of the things that, take up our time and take up our mind space, and, refocus that back on God, right? And refocus that on. Otto said he's having audio issues. Can you all hear me? Oh, wait. Sister Susanna doesn't have audio issues. Oh, I'm sorry. Altaf is my man. Thank you. Sister Sutana does not have audio issues. You are the man, Altaf. I'm telling you. Thank you. Altaf's in my corner. Okay, so I keep getting distracted here. So then, so during Ramadan, we that we restrain from different things from sun up to sundown, right? And so in this part of the world, like sun up, it's from like 3. What time is Fajr? So around 4:30 is kind of the start. So we need to eat prior to Fajr, right? When, like I said, it's 4:30, and then our we start to eat again at like break fast, which is 4:30. I'm sorry, no, it's not. 6:30 now. It's like almost 7:45, right? 7:45 p.m. So that's the span that we refrain from eating, drinking, not even water, right? From husbands and wives, sexual intimacy, and then any bad language, because it happens, bad language, or just like kind of staying away from things. Like, so if you listen to a lot of music, we kind of stay away from that. Watch a lot of television, so we stay away from that, and we refocus that time to being listening or reading the Quran, or more prayers, definitely more prayers, and just charity, and that sort. And so those are the things that brings us closer to God, right? So I want to have that discussion, and we are like 20 days in, so of 30 days, 29 to 30 days, right? Depending on the moon. That's another thing. We're a lunar, our months are not our lunar, so it comes in every 11 months, right? So it's not the same time, every year. So, same date every year, right? So it's 11 months. So this year, we're like 29 or 30 days, depending on when you started. We're not going to get into that war, but we're going into the last 10 nights, and the last 10 nights are really auspicious during the night of Ramadan, because this is where we are like, okay, we're on double speed, triple speed of what we've been doing, right? So we do more prayers, more reading, more charity during this night. And then there are some nights, they call them the odd nights of the last 10 nights, that we are doing even more of that, right? And so we're looking for what they call Laylatul Qadr, right? And so that's the night of power, just like kind of this understanding, understanding of closeness and oneness to Allah. So it's a lot and we need to have like, I want scholars to talk about this. Maybe we'll do this like even before we get into the next cycle of Ramadan. So maybe we'll start to have some of those sessions. So, all right. So Sister Ravina, yeah, let's see what Sister Ravina says. I will be going into Itikaf. So thank you. I'll talk about that as well. Itikaf, self-imposed spiritual segregation from Monday onwards, and hopefully to fix my aesthetic tongue. Sultana, you are like Preacher Moss, but with a golden halo. Oh my God, Sister Rafina, you're so poetic. Thank you. But Sister Ravina brought up something very great. It's called Itikaf, right? And so it's like, it's during this last 10 days. And so it's not required by everyone, but it is, it's a great practice to get into. And it's kind of this, you go into a spiritual retreat, as they call it, spiritual retreat, right? And a lot of people do it in the masjid, right? And so this is Rabina. What are you all open during this time? Are you going to do the itikaf at home? Are you going to do it in the masjid? Like what? Let me know like how you're gonna do that, right? But it's basically you go into the spiritual retreat. Muhammad the Prophet, alayhi salam, he went to a cave to do an itikaf, right? And then you also have, if you think about, you have Jesus alayhi salam, like he went into a cave as well. And you hear a lot of prophets when they go into a cave, and that's a retreat, and that's like they're just trying to have like this closeness, this conversation with God and themselves, and so they need to block off everything, but they may go in for a few days. And so I've seen it in different scriptures as well. So whether or not you're Christian, Muslim, you'll probably um, are kind of aware of like this type of um, retreat that's being referred to. But again, so we during the last 10 nights we kind of go into this retreat. And again, like I said, it's in the masjid. And you don't go anywhere. You're there for the duration of that time. Like Sister Rabina said, she says she's going in Monday through the end of Ramadan, right? And so again, she's going to be reading, she's going to be prayers, and it's just her and Allah, right? And so other people will be there, but it's just she's going to have her section, just have her section, have her space. And usually, you don't typically do not leave that environment. You don't leave the masjid, or you don't leave it. And so people, and if she's talked to someone, they'll bring her food, they'll bring her, things that she needs, right? But she basically is kind of staying in that space for that for that connection to Allah, God, right? So, but Sister Rabina, get back to me. Let me know how you're doing it this year. And yeah, I know that some people like I know we've done like overnight, and it may not have been like the full 10 nights. It may be like a day or two, like a itikaf, maybe like the weekend, because it does depend on, where people are and like their space, and if they can do, some people can't do 10 days. Some people can only do 2 or 3 days of itikaf. But again, it's like that focus on Allah. Hey, so this is my Saida. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is my dear friend Saida. I'm sorry. This is my Hajjah. Okay, Saida is my Hajjah, right? I've known Saida before we went to Hajj. I've known her since grade school. But it was like 4 of us, like from grade school, that went on Hajj, right? And so we have a company called Girls Gone Hajj. I'll talk about that later. But this is her. But thank you, Saida, for joining. Thank you. Yeah, this yellow is like something, right? I love it. So thank you for joining, Saida. Okay. So yeah, I'm kind of like going on about Ramadan, but I'm going to take a break for a commercial. We have ads, but when we come back, I want to see some comments in the comment section on like your experiences of Ramadan, and like we're going into the last 10 days. Number one, how has your Ramadan been? What do you want to achieve in the last 10 days? And you know, so yeah, so you're welcome. She says she's chatting from the car. All right, thank you. So all right, y'all, I'm gonna go into a commercial. So give me a second, but I want to see some comments when I come back. All right, let's see. What am I gonna do here? I know you can hear me. I'm just speaking. Okay. All right, here we go, y'all.
Yo, assalamu alaikum. I'm Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire, but I like to add a new title to my name. I'm Professor Preacher Moss. You know why? Because I just graduated. Wait a minute, let me get this out of here. This is it. Okay. I'm Professor Preacher Moss, and it's come through the courtesy and the blessing of the Muhammad Ali Scholarship, which came through Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Now, listen, I know a lot of you people are thinking, can I do it? Yes, you can do it. This is the part where I know I'm supposed to say it's easy. It's not easy. Listen, it was easier to get this degree. Trump would be a mufti. I digress. Listen, though, for you brothers and sisters that are interested, go to bayanonline.org, and you could be like me. Put yourself in the picture for Islamic education. Wait a minute, there's the picture right there. Sound like everybody. Take care. Preach them off.
I laugh every time that Trump could be a mufti because, well, we know. So yeah, so that was Bayan, Bayan, and again, that's where as you all know, preacher, is graduating. He just finished up his his graduate studies, and so we call him Professor Preacher. So we'll do a little, talk a little bit more about that at the end, where you can actually contact Bayan if you're interested in Islamic studies. Okay. So getting back to Ramadan, we have a comment here. Thanks, Sister Rabina. Okay, great. So Sister Rabina, like I said, Sister Rabina is in the UK, right? So she has an apartment that um, she's gonna go in with a segregated garden, nice. Not a masjid, organic, healthy food, already organized for daily delivery. I did Umrah in 1977 and Hajj in 92 before it all became glitzy. Oh yeah, those are the good days, right? I know people who like went in the 90s and it was like, yeah. I think like even before I went in 2009, right? So that was like even before they put up the tall clock. So I never got to see that. But so yeah, that's awesome, Sister Rabina. And it's nice that you have a space. And I know with COVID now, I don't know how the masjids are doing. Um, are they doing itikaf? Or, some I know are loosening up restrictions a little bit, but, still to be like in that space and to be around others. And, I don't, even some of the masjids, like even in this area, are not even opening up, you know, bathrooms or lavatories, right? So I don't know how they're going to do that. So yeah. So then, so our discussion was on Ramadan. So again, in the comments, y'all, how has your first 19 or 20 days? How has that been going? And then how are you pivoting like for the next the next 10 days? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing more of? Like, so I mean, I'll tell you my I'll tell you my to me people are like, okay, not even water. I'm like, not even water. And I guess I've been doing it for so long, it's not a situation for me, like for, just not having, food or having water. What has really gotten to me is sleep. Like I just can't, like I have not been able to like grasp the time. I don't know really I've been messed up since daylight savings time like changed over, but that's another story. But that's been the thing. It's been the time not getting and not getting that sleep or not getting. I mean, I've been like doing of course keeping up with the prayers and everything, but it's just that sleep, it's like I just can't get past it. So but I'm still alhamdulillah, I'm still here. I'm still in the month of Ramadan. I've been fasting every day, which I'm very happy for. um and so the last 10 days, just increase reading, increase prayers. I don't think I'm going to be doing like an itikaf in the masjid, and I'm not going to be doing it for like the for the for the extended time of like 10 days. Like I applaud Sister Rabina for being able to do that. I think I've done it a few times, not in fact, not even the whole 10 days, right? But just, a few days we do that. But then there are programs, like I've been it's like a sisters itikaf, right? And so we spent time in the masjid and maybe been like overnight or so, and kind of going through the program and everything. So um, so how's everyone? How's everyone else? Are you going with me here? I see people are still here, but I do want to know. And then JT, I want to know like how has your fasting been going? Like it's been like I said, 20 days. What are some of the um some of the lessons that you've learned? Like how is that going? So my Hajjah Saida says the sleep is hard because of the short time span between Tarwi and Sahur. It's like taking short naps. It is, and I for some reason I thought that it would be a little bit longer because we're coming off of um, um, you know, we're coming off of the two, last year was around the June, what is this? Yeah, May to June timeframe. So it was a little bit longer. But for this, it's like those long nights have just been like, wow. But I'm not complaining. Alhamdulillah, I'm still here. But it's like, just getting acclimated that. And like I said, it's still 20 days and still trying to get acclimated, but still doing, the rituals as we have to do each day. Johnny says, JT says, preacher usually does the additional 10 days. So he does the itikaf is what you're talking about. That's great. Yeah, that's wonderful. Um, that's pretty awesome. Um, so, all right, and so then what we're gonna do is like I said, in the last 10 days, what I will be doing is more reading of the Quran, more prayers, a lot of supplications. There are a lot of um, supplications that we can do. There's like a set of rabbanas, as we call it, and it's like, oh Allah, this is what it is, and it's a set of 40 that you can repeat and repeat and repeat, and there's just a lot of thickering, and thickering is just like kind of this supplication and this thanking of Allah. And so there's a lot of, I attended this one program yesterday. What instead of Aisha Prime. Oh, I love her. Right. So she did this really great, on duas. And then I think Celebrate Mercy also has one. There's so many people in our, I think about the Ustadas in our community, Anissa Dewan, and just so many, and they have so many great programs and so many things that you can learn during this month. I will caution, like, because I remember last year when we did get on like line, we were always online, and so it was just kind of overwhelming. So in the last 10 days, although there's some great programming, kind of space yourself out, or kind of give yourself that much room. Just say you're going to do this from this time to this time. You don't need to be on everything. It was really hard, and I remember last year just being so overwhelmed because it was just um, so much on online, and because we couldn't go into the masjids, everybody had something, and so you were just basically channel hopping. You really couldn't you know um, just stay in one space. So do that in the last 10 days. You don't have to be on everything. A lot of things are recorded, so you can always go back to it. So just remember that as well. But get your plan together for the next 10 days. Like I said, if you're going to Itikaf, then make sure you have someone, like Sister Rabina has a service, but just so you're not interrupted. Even I would say, like, turn off your phone if you can. That's really hard. I know. But there are just some things, because again, this doesn't this comes around every year, right? And then we know from COVID, right? There are just people who did not make it to this year, and so they did not have another Ramadan. So we want to take advantage of being in this blessed month, as we call it, and actually taking the full get the full benefits of it, right? Allah says that, and there are three ashuras, or three sections of the month of Ramadan, right? And so there is forgiveness that Allah bestows on us. It's forgiveness, it's mercy, and the last 10 nights, as we're going into, is protection from the hellfire, as we call it, right? So take advantage of that, get some more understanding of it. Um, Read your Quran, of course. If you're an English speaker, read it in English or whatever your native language is. But try and read some in Arabic if you can, right? Just even if it's just like a word, right? Break down a word. Um, you know, to as Nadia Ahmed says, decode a word, right? And so just break it down and just try and read it. Okay, some comments here. Ooh. So Sister Ravina says, masjids and all religious venues are open for prayers in the UK. Masks are not obligatory. Really? We like to breathe in central London. We like to breathe in central London, okay? In 1977, the Kaaba was surrounded by sand and pigeons, and marble floor was just being introduced. Really? That then take a nap between Zuhr and also prayers. It is advisable. I don't miss sleep, as I normally only sleep maximum 5 hours anyway. Alhamdulillah. Sister Rabina, we need to aspire to be like you. Of course, we're aspiring to be like the Prophet, alayhi salam, but I like what you're saying here. So yeah, I like that. That it's amazing. Like, and it's beautiful. She's talking about the Kaaba. So Muslims have a chance to make Hajj or visit or do Umrah and visit. But it's just the plant. Like she said in 1977 there was no marble floor, and I mean, like, I'm just thinking, like, Saida, if you're still on, like when Saida and I went in our Hajjis Hanifa and Farida, when we all went, of course it was marbled, it was grand, it was it was really beautiful. But it's interesting to think of it in a different space. And of course, if we think about it, when Prophet Abraham, you know um what that looked like till now. And I remember going through, as we're riding through, I think it was from Mecca to Medina, just looking at the mountains, and was like, wow, I wonder, like, back in that time they were on horseback and they were riding. So I'm digressing, but let me get into Johnny's comment. But thank you, Sister Rabina. Okay, so Johnny says, my wife and family are very supportive. That is great. I usually read more, focus on my family and friends, and look forward to the first taste of water at 7:52 Central Time today. That is so awesome. And so to everybody who's just joining, Johnny Thomas, or Johnny L. Thomas, JT, is a really great friend of Preacher. They've been friends for forever, right? And so he's not Muslim, but he's fasting, right? And so this is just some of his work, some of his thoughts. Um, on fasting. It's super exciting that your wife and your family are supportive of you. That's really important, right? Because it's hard. It's even hard for Muslims. Like, we're used to it, so I know it's pretty hard. And then I don't know what the weather is there like today here, like on the East Coast. It's like you know, it jumped from like 80 to 40, like in the 40s, but it's gonna pop back up in the 80s next week. So it's weird weather. So, like, the weather could have a toll on you as well. But thanks so much, JT, for sharing. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go ahead and go into another average, a commercial. So give me a second here, and we're gonna come back and close up with some comments. So if you have any more comments, put them in the section so you can get those comments in, and then we're gonna be winding down. So let me go into our next video.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. You're probably looking at your screen going, that's a scrumptious looking black man. And you're right. My name's Preacher Mars, comedian extraordinaire. Now, brothers and sisters, you're probably saying, what looks better than that black man right there? I'll tell you. The thought of giving the people in need and assisting them when they need it. Sounds good to me. With that, I introduce the Launch Good Ramadan Challenge. Again, that's the Launch Good Ramadan Challenge, which I'll be highlighting on my show, the ShOUT Show, the last 10 days of Ramadan. Now, brothers and sisters, don't miss out. I'm going to tell you why. I am a good-looking black man, yes. I'm a comedian extraordinaire, yes. But the Ramadan Launch Good campaign is a dope project. And I tell you, if you join, you might actually be as dope as me. Now, some of you going, Preacher Moss, I've heard people talk about the Launch Good Ramadan Challenge. What makes your message so different? I'll tell you why. I have a fireplace. Flame on.
That fireplace. It was funny at the end. So yeah, so launchgood.com, there's a launchgood campaign. And so, stay tuned. Like I said, for the last 10 days, we will be going through, the 30 for 30. I know some people have like emailed us about 30 for 30. So, he's going to let some people on for reflections. So again, if you have not, send, if you're interested in jumping on and talking about your reflections in the last 10 days, send us an email at permissibleafter@gmail.com, and we're going to sit there and try and schedule in. It would be so cool to get to Sister Rabina either before or after. I know you're going to be kind of in seclusion or in your retreat, but it'll be kind of nice to have a conversation with you as well. But if we don't get to you, no, blessings to you, on your Ithaca. But for anyone else who wants to jump on with your Ramadan reflections, please send us an email, and we'll get to you. All right, so we are winding down. I'm going to take the last few comments. Um, Saida agrees with Johnny, with JT. Yes, the first taste of water is the best. And alhamdulillah, she says, again, as I mentioned, JT is not a Muslim, but yeah, he is fasting. So that is, alhamdulillah, all praises to the God. And Sister Rabina, she's ending with the comments here. Here is my rehydrating drink. Okay, she usually has some great um, instructions here. Okay, so 3 dates and a pint of distilled water, 1 tablespoon of honey, 1/2 teaspoon of pink Himalayan rock salt. Stir, leave in the fridge at Asr, as a prayer, and sip at Isha onwards. And remember to eat those soaked dates. All right, good. I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like dates like with a little salt on it. Like, yeah, that's really good. So that's a good plan. I'm gonna make note of that. So thank you, Sister Rabina. All right, everyone. So we're into time here. So I'm gonna wind this down. I do want to remind everyone we do have a guest tomorrow. So the guest we're actually usually have on Saturdays, right? I usually spotlight Saturdays, but we're gonna do what we call a potluck Sunday. So I'm gonna bring this in. Let me see if it works. Yay. Okay. So our tomorrow's Sunday potluck guest is Rick Sclafford. Oh my God. Sorry, Rick. Sclafford. He is actually a Bitcoin and a cryptocurrency expert, right? So he's an educator. He talks about cryptocurrency. He even teaches people like us, I'll say for me, like, who has minimal funds to invest in Bitcoin. And he teaches us how to do this. So this is going to be a really great conversation with Rick tomorrow. So please show up. We know it's going to be on the same uh, station, 3 p.m. Um, Pacific time, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Check us out on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. So yeah, be part of the conversation. Like I said, he's an educator. Rick's an educator, and he has like has mapped out a plan. He has students he's taught people in the U.S. and internationally about you know cryptocurrency, that whole market. And if you look at he's been doing it since 2014. And so if you look at the whole that whole market, it's been around for quite some time. And and I hear stories about how it was free, it was $1, it was $100. It's now like to buy into a Bitcoin, it's like over $55,000, right? But there's still a way for like us, to buy fractionally like Bitcoin. And so he's going to talk about that and show us ways of how to do that, and what he's been doing with his students and how they're making profits in this area as well, right? And so join us tomorrow for that. I think I am all done. I think I got through my ads. I have my little script here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Just want to give a shout out to our there we go. Our sponsors, Miss Maxine Cade at Be Financially Independent, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com, or call 800-679-3175. And one day we are gonna have an issue scheduled to be a guest as well. But in the meantime, if you have questions, you can actually give her a call at 800-679-3175, or take a look at our website, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Our other sponsor is Beyond online or Bayon, and we did an ad for a little bit. But again, this is where Preacher did his master's program, right? He's graduating this May, right? He finished his thesis. We talked about that. We did a show on that. But the actual graduation is this May. So, I think we're gonna kind of maybe have some of it online. We'll see. But if you're interested in Islamic education, bayononline.org. And also want to just remind you, the universal title, right? The universal title is a podcast, a 6-series podcast that Preacher was actually, or is actually the narrator of this 6-part series on Muhammad Ali's spiritual journey to Islam. And so it's a great series, right? They just dropped 4, podcast number 4. So go back out to it, go to the universal title.com to see all the information on it. It's like such super great detailed information. It's like really good. So go there or go to your favorite podcast to download that podcast. All right, everyone. Any other last comments? Because we're going to be out of here, right? If not, I would like to thank everyone for, having me as your host. Thanks, Preacher, as well. Like I said, he had another event to do. It was great to talk about our Saturday Spotlight Ramadan. I wish Ramadan Mubarak, blessed Ramadan to all of those who are fasting. We push it in for the next 10 days. Get it in for the next 10 days. Do everything that you can do. I wish you success with it to you and your family. And that's it. So assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu and Ramadan Mubarak. Almost. 1 second. There we go.
Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarif Altar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out TarifAltar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.